Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Swahili Sunday, wherever you're listening from. And if you're listening after the fact, thank you so much for listening. Here I am on the couch again. It's another Sunday where went to the chiropractor yesterday and got an adjustment for my back. My back feels better, but then my rib has kind of gotten bruised. So now I have an owie in my rib, but I'm grateful to not have any pain in in my back. And I wasn't going to do Swahili Sunday today, but I felt after I was reading in the Bible this morning, I felt some things that I wanted to share with everybody. So here I am, and I'm excited to be here. The Swahili word for today, I haven't been is Amani means peace or peace of mind. I think it's a Keely that means mind. And I've always talked about your mindset is your greatest asset. How do you have peace of mind, and how do you keep your mind at peace? What are the things that you do to um, work on that mindset? And I came across a scripture today in Luke that uh, Luke 6:45, a good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of. And we see a lot of people. So, like, how do you have peace of mind? We see a lot of people today that lash out. Does that mean when somebody lashes out that they they're evil? Or does that mean that they're going through something? It's if somebody's sad for a time, does that mean that they're depressed all the time? Is that what's really in their heart? I think you really have to know somebody to know what it is that they're actually feeling. It, People these days are so excited to record somebody's breakdown, somebody's uh, they want to post, view, discuss, make it viral, somebody's meltdown in a public place. And you think, why are people melting down? Of course, when somebody's been drinking too much, which happens at times, and they get kicked off the plane or something. You see a lot of videos about that. But then you see somebody that's just really upset and they're just losing their mind. And there's more and more people losing it nowadays than I think at any other time. I've been around the planet a long time, and I don't recall seeing people as apt to just blow up or to show their emotions or to show they're upset or to show their hurt or their pain or whatever as we have it today. And then on the other hand, when people do that, there's a slew of people, instead of going to their aid and maybe attempting to help them, people whip out cameras. Oh, this will make me get more likes. I can go viral with this. But you think about it, why are people under so much stress? And a lot of it has to do with what's going on in their minds. You, how can you change your mind? So that kind of stuff. I mean, I find myself getting upset at things, or maybe having a reaction to something, and I'm thinking, gosh, I have to look at it. Not to say that I'm perfect and I don't catch it, because sometimes I do react and it's like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Why did I go there? I need to look at that. Sometimes I may need to apologize to somebody for reacting about something, but I have to look at, why did I react that way? What caused that within me? What made that happen? And I think in today's day and age, we are so full of things available to see and view. You can view on any given day, if you scroll through something, through videos or posts on social media, you can come across something negative. You can come across something where people are tearing people down. You can come across positive and uplifting things. But how do you direct your mind? Where do you go with that? You have to really be careful what you put into your mind and what your habits are. It's very easy to get caught up in just scrolling through and looking through videos. And that's another thing that can take you off course from what you're doing. Like in my mind right now is income producing activities. I work a corporate job, and the time that I'm not working the corporate job, I'm working on the Baskets and Beads ministry, and I have to think about income producing activities. but I can get taken off down a path where I'm going through email and I need to clean out my inbox, or I'm going through mail and I need to post stuff on social media, or, which can be an income producing activity. But I find that I can get caught going down the rabbit hole of non-income producing activities very easy. And then I've wasted a whole lot of time and then I want to kick myself. And then I'm like, well, why did I do that? What kind of bad habits do I have that's causing me to easily get taken off track and go down that path? Um, I have a friend who was uh, actually eh, kind of beating themselves up for where they are in life or whatever. And then they went to a seminar and got some really great training and changed their mindset for a minute. And then I noticed they went back to that same pattern of going back down the rabbit hole of like, oh, I'm failing, I don't know what I'm doing. And the one thing I noticed is that in between those 3 times, the time when they weren't, feeling that or thinking that, they weren't watching and sharing a lot of YouTube videos. It's very easy to get caught up in what's going on. I mean, there's so much negativity out there, and there's so many people talking about all the negative things going on, and I don't know how somebody in journalism today, actually, like the news channels today, can go along without really being sick, because there's so much negativity and they're putting so much toxicity out there. That's not a career that I think I'd be good at. And I'm doing these lives, but I'm working on doing things that are positive and uplifting and not talking about negative things. And if I do talk about negative things, it's with a lesson on how to turn it around. For instance, my newsletter, I put out a newsletter because a memory came up. I put my last week's newsletter. If you didn't get it, it's on the blog post. You can go to basketsandbeadskenya.com and look at the blog, and it's called, the title of it is "He Died in a Skydiving Accident." And that's, like, you think, oh, what the heck is that? And the reason I started thinking about that is how things can change the whole trajectory of your life and what you can do to change your mind from those things. Like, obviously, you need time to grieve a situation. And I'll just briefly explain. I mean, the memory that popped up was a picture of my son who had gone skydiving with a man I had been dating. I had been dating for a few months 10 years ago. And then he went on a halo jump in Tennessee. Halo is high altitude, low opening. You have to have actually a mask on to do those jumps because of the altitude. And they only do those in a few areas in the country, and Tennessee was one of them. And he went out there to do that, and he died in that skydiving accident. And I hadn't known him long enough for anybody to have my contact details to call me, but uh, strangely enough, I felt it. I felt something had happened. He had texted me in the morning before he was going, and I hadn't heard from him the rest of the day. And I texted him, and I think probably about the time it happened, I felt this feeling, this um, feeling of dread, or just, I don't even know how to describe it. And I remember I talked about this in the blog. I remember thinking, I'm not going to process that right now. I want to. I'm just going to. Because I thought, well, maybe he got injured, but I think deep down I knew it was something more serious. And I actually, the way I found out was I Googled his name, and it came up. There were articles that he had died in a skydiving accident. Called my bestie Nancy, and she actually made some calls to confirm it was true. And that was devastating to me, because and then I found out some things about him that I didn't know were going on in his life beforehand that might have caused some other problems. But um it, it was one of those things where I thought my life was going this way, and then in an instant it shifts. That can happen to your life the way I got involved in Kenya. I was focused on my speaking career, doing speaking and training, and I had actually gotten several different contracts and speaking engagements. I was doing live trainings. I was doing all kinds of things. And then I went to Kenya, and the whole trajectory of my life changed. And it changed in an instant. I still speak because people know that I'm a negotiation expert. If you're listening now, you've probably heard me talk about Think Like a Negotiator. I wrote a book called Think Like a Negotiator. I still speak on negotiation, effective communication, self-leadership. And if anybody ever contacts me, because I still have a speaker website, uh, I've had somebody reach out for an effective communication training. So I still do that. I really love speaking, but I always share the stories of baskets and beads. But you got to go back to that, being careful what you put in. Obviously, if you're going through a grief situation, you have to process through that. And the next key is to surround yourself with people who will lift you up and hold you to a higher standard, support you when you're going through something, be there for you. Um, I live in Irvine. I have a few friends around here. A lot of my friends are in the LA area, and it's hard to get together with people. LA area or the Inland Empire, and it's hard to get together with them on a regular basis. And we do get together. It's a good time, but I think that if I didn't have um, like, I still attend my veterans group at Saddleback Church, although I haven't been a member there for a while, because I need a place that's willing to come alongside me with the ministry I'm doing, and so I'm seeking that currently. But and I really hate going to church by myself. I watch church online a lot because I hate going by myself and sitting there. But it's like, okay, well, if you would get out and go, you'd meet some people, but then you have to go through that being alone kind of thing, and I don't like that much. I think the thing that helps me is doing the baskets and beads, because I'll do pop-ups. I really don't like the work of doing the pop-ups, but I always meet really nice people and have nice conversations with people. And now we have a showroom, and we're doing classes. By the way, if you are in the local to Orange County, on October 21st, we have a sipping teas and painting trees class. Let me see. Do I still have? I think I put the link. I think I put the link up here. Yes, here. I'm putting this link here. I need to share that I should have shared that in the chat as well. You can sign up for that and join us. If you go to Eventbrite and put in sipping teas and painting trees, you'll find it. It's a fundraiser actually for the ladies, not the ladies, they're kids, the children. We're sponsoring 6 kids for school, and we need to continually raise funds for their school fees. So if you have that, if you're available for that, we'd love to have you come. We have 12 spaces. Oh yeah, definitely. I see the comments here. Um, what brings me a sense of peace? Should you trust your inner voice of reason? Yeah, you can trust you. Let me go from the beginning. Stress is a modern problem. We hold all the big and small challenges. Yeah, stress is a modern problem because there's so much coming at us. And I think, like I said, you have to be careful of what you put in your mind, because if you don't, uh, you'll get totally overwhelmed, and you can actually shut down from the stress. Sometimes stress affects me and I get anxiety, and I have to figure, okay, what's triggering that? And what can I do then I have to do some things to work through it. And then what can I do to actually make sure that doesn't happen that way again? Yeah, Sandy, I see you look for the positive in even the worst situation. You have to do that. And it's kind of like, um, I think that it's doing that, and then actually, one thing I think, if you think about what you're grateful for, and I mean, really think about it. I work with women in Kenya that are in extreme, extreme poverty. They live in mud huts about the size of my living room, and they don't have a kitchen, bathroom, or running water. And sometimes I have to remind people, like when I'm selling the products, I'm selling them so I can buy more and I can pay the business expenses. Like when I go to these pop-ups, it's not free. There's some of them that are free, but most of them cost uh, anywhere from 150. There's some that cost like $600, $800, and I have to make that money back in order to break even, and then make beyond for a profit in order to be able to go ahead and order some more products, which that's the ultimate goal, is to get the ladies to be able to be sustainable. So we're placing regular orders, not only from retail, but also from wholesale. So when people come and they attempt to negotiate with me, and I I use a up your price strategy, and then I remind them of some things that they don't really understand when I'm standing there selling this product. So, for instance, I had this happen last year in an event, and every now and then it happens, but this event, it was happening again and again and again. So I just used the up your price strategy. What is that? So they said, I have a necklace, it's $35, which is a very reasonable price. I could actually be upping the price even more. And it's so I, how much is this? 35. How about 30? How about 35? How about 30? How about 40? Oh, come on. I'm like, "No, you come on. Do you have a bathroom in your house?" "What?" "Yeah." "Why?" Well, so think about it. You got up this morning, went into your bathroom, you went to the bathroom, maybe you took a shower, you came out to your kitchen, you had some coffee or tea, you had something to eat, you sat down at your table, you washed your dishes or whatever, and you got ready for your day. Maybe you get to go to work, not had, you get to. I saw somebody else who had that post, I get to instead of I had to. I had to makes it sound like it's such a burden. I have to go to work. There are a lot of people that don't have a job. You get to go to work. My corporate job is crazy. There's nonsense going on every single day. But if I didn't have that corporate job right now, the business expenses for this ministry would not be going. I wouldn't be able to do the things I'm doing because I'm bootstrapping along still, and so I get to go to my job. So you have to think about that. Anyway, I tell the people that, and I'm like, the ladies who make these products live in a mud hut about the size, a little bit bigger than the tent we're standing in. They don't have a kitchen, bathroom, or running water. So the price is $35. But if you'd like to pay 40, I'll take 40. But it's not 30, it's 35. Oh, you're killing me. Yeah, okay. Just think about it. Okay, here's the 35. Thank you. But sometimes I have to remind people because people get, no, I want to get a better deal. I want to pay less. Well, with fair trade, I love negotiating, but with fair trade, I'm not going to take money off of that unless I'm closing out a product, because it takes money away from being able to support the ladies. So, and that's my ultimate goal, and my ultimate passion is to be able to do that. So going back to that, there's a lot of self-centeredness going on today. People are so invested in themselves. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago with the taking selfies and posting about yourself, and here's where I am. I'm doing this, this, and this. Where that's kind of the thing. I mean, I do that too. Here I am at this pop-up event. Why don't you come by and say hi? That's it. And really, I'd love for, if you're in the neighborhood of where I am having a pop-up event, I would love for you to come and say hi, because I'd love to see you. I don't get to see people very often. I work from home for my corporate job, and so going out to these events and having people come by and say, hey, even if you're not going to make a purchase, just come on by. I'd love to see you. Maybe you're with a friend and they'll make a purchase. But turn it around and give back. You don't have to necessarily do something like I'm doing, going all the way to Kenya. Just give back somewhere to somebody. You have probably been through something in your life, and Pastor Rick Warren from Saddleback Church always used to say, who better to, don't waste your pain, who better to share with somebody about their pain than somebody who's gone through the same thing. For instance, I lost my mother young, and I've been a victim of growing up. Let me change that. I'm a victor over growing up in alcoholism, and a victor over domestic violence and assault in the military. And although there are still sometimes things I get triggered, because that's just the way it is, I can pretty much, I'm pretty much beyond most of that. I'm healed from that. I'm a whole person. I've got peace of mind. I have Amani, peace of mind, which that's the greatest gift of all. I may have some pain in my body, but I have peace of mind, and I'm so grateful for that. And there's a saying that says, when I got busy, I got better. So giving back in some way, like veterans can give back to other veterans, women can give back to other women, men can give back to other men. Maybe you were abandoned as a child. I had actually thought I would have been a good big brother, big sister, but being in the military, I moved around a lot and they wanted you to be committed to a certain period of time, and I couldn't necessarily commit to that. And I could have helped somebody who was in a situation like I was in. Um, I've shared this before. I was a high school dropout. I had a pretty rough upbringing. I was, nobody cared whether I dropped out of high school or not. Nobody cared whether I succeeded or not. Nobody cared about me. My dad was basically a zombie. He was a shell that provided a roof over my head, at least, and food to eat, but he didn't provide any love, any guidance, any caring. So somehow, by the grace of God, I ended up in the military. I got my GED before I went in the military. I got 2 associates and a bachelor's degree in training in the contracting career field, which is why I'm working uh, for a defense contractor now because of that type of thing. And I could definitely help somebody. This is my why, actually, about why I'm so passionate about helping those kids in Kenya. There are people, like, a couple of them were on the street, and there are people that don't care about them, whether they make it or not. But I care. I care about them. I care that they make it. I want them to have an opportunity to make it. I want to be that person there for them that helps them to get to that point, to graduate from high school and maybe go to a trade school or go to college or do something with their lives. And then they can turn around and give back. One of our kids, Aloys, it told me on my last trip there in June that he wants to give back to other street kids. He's had an opportunity to get off the streets, and he's excuse me, studying hard in school. So he wants to be able to do that too. So that's where that why comes from. So give back to somebody, give back to do something to help someone, even if it's just one person. Maybe you mentor somebody, maybe you uh, mentor a kid or mentor another person who's coming at the beginning of an experience that you're at the other end of. That'll help you, kind of what I say, call get out of your own way, which that phrase is around, but sometimes we need to do that. And another thing you need to make sure you do is forgive people. You can't carry unforgiveness around. Now, does that mean you have to have that person back in your life? I've talked about this plenty of times. No, it doesn't. But you need to forgive them and let go of that resentment that you're holding on, because resentment is the poison that we take that we think actually kills other people, but it really kills our spirit. So you want to make sure that you don't kill your own spirit by filling it with unforgiveness and anger, because you can't provide. There's the second greatest commandment, which is love your neighbor as yourself. You can't do that if you have unforgiveness. And I've said this before, that doesn't just mean the person that you care about and you like. That means the people that you disagree with and don't like, or maybe need to stay away from because they're volatile or whatever. You still can love them from afar, maybe pray for them or whatever. But unforgiveness is something that'll really destroy your life. And another couple of things is, one thing is, don't take advantage of people. Don't exploit people. There are people that, uh, like, I've had situations where I'm offering something for sale and I could actually offer it for a higher price, but I know the person either can't afford it, or I just don't want to take advantage of somebody. You don't want to take advantage of somebody else, especially somebody's kindness. You don't want to exploit people, and you see this all the time. Let me take a video. Like, I've seen videos of people getting in fights. There's a whole bunch of people around them, and instead of breaking up the fight and saying, hey, stop it, you go over here, you go over here, let's talk this out, you see everybody out with their phones. They're watching somebody getting pummeled by somebody else, and they're not stopping it. Instead, they're recording it. that just really breaks my heart. I don't understand that at all. But and then, like I said, you want to make sure that you what are you grateful for, and really focus on that. And you can't have, like, if you're really focusing on something you're grateful for, like I'm sitting here in this right now that the weather is cooled down, so I have nothing running, no AC or anything. But during the hot months of the summer when it was roasting outside, I was really grateful to have an air conditioner. And part of that is because in 2019, when I right before I took a job, when my speaking business was starting to dry up for whatever reason, which I think it was because I was supposed to focus on baskets and beads, and because COVID was coming and there would have been no in-person speaking for me. So I'm grateful that it happened the way it did, because now I have a, a job that I'm able to pull from if I need funding for the business until we get to some point of profit in that business. But my air conditioner went out. My car, actually, I can't remember the third thing. There were three things that happened in a row. My car, like the water pump went out, the brakes, like I had $5,000 worth of repairs, and then my air conditioner went out, and that was like $6,500, and then which I didn't have, and I had to do some creative things to get funding to get that. So I borrowed my daughter's little portable AC unit, and I had it in my living room, but it really was for a smaller space, so it didn't completely cool it down. So I went I think I went August and September, the two hottest months here, without AC. And I had that little portable AC unit. It helped. But I remember that as soon as I got the air conditioner installed, and I it was on a Sunday, they came and did it, and they left, and I just laid on my bed with the air conditioner on, just thanking God that I had an air conditioner. We don't think about, we get so busy in our day-to-day lives, we don't think about, oh gosh, let's really focus in on what we're grateful for. I mean, I have food in my fridge, I have lights on, I have electricity, I have my little Indigo and my cat Meow Mix, one's on either side of me. And I'm grateful for them because they're here with me, and they love me unconditionally, and that's really nice too. So I'm grateful for those of you who are following along and who are supportive in some way, whether it's just watching, whether it's liking, whether it's sharing, whether it's purchasing product, where it's making a donation, showing up at an event, whatever you're doing. I'm grateful for it. And it helps the ladies in Kenya, which is my passion, to help those ladies get out of poverty and have regular monthly income stream from orders. That's what we're working hard to get to. So I'm grateful for you for all of that. And again, if we are having a couple of events. I need to really post this in the comments, but if you're listening on Instagram, you can go to Linktree. I guess I can put that Linktree link up. It's like link, whatever it is, link.tree, link.tree, however it is, /Eldana. And you can find this one for the painting event, October 21st. And then we're also having trunk shows. If you want to do a trunk show, you can do it one of two ways, or three ways. There's three ways you can do a trunk show. Come and bring your friends to our showroom, bring food and friends, and host an event at the Baskets and Beads studio in Santa Ana, studio and showroom. And as a host of the event, you'll get some discounts off your products, and then you'll get also more discounts as people buy. And then if somebody books a show as well, you'll get another discount on top of that. You can host an event in your home, and this is on the Calendly link. Again, I'll have to put this in the comments so everybody can just easily get to it. I'll just put the Linktree link up, I think, which will make it easier. So you can host it in your home. And if you're not local, you can do it virtually. So would love for you to do those things and would love to see you. There's a lot of events we're going to be at. If you go to basketsandbeadskenya.com, you can register to be on the, it's just name and email to be on the email list. And you'll get information about all the events, and there'll also be information about this the trunk show and the tea party. And I'd like for the tea party, the painting party, sipping teas and painting trees. We're going to have some tea and snacks during that event. So and there's only 12 spaces for that. So please register and would love to see you there. All right, everybody, that's about it for today. I thank you all for joining, and I just hope that you have a wonderful Sunday. I'm grateful for you, Naku Penda.